So some other thing. What was I saying? Hey everyone, today I am at my main office, my main school's office. This is where I sit when I am teaching at my main school 3 days a week, and I am desk warming, as you can probably tell. Nobody's in the office today. My co-teacher just went on vacation yesterday. Hopefully nobody walks in while I'm doing this. That would be weird to try and explain in Korean, which I can't do. Okay, let's jump right into it. I am going to be talking about how much money I personally saved. I am going to start with our base pay. In EPIK, you get paid starting at, I think, 2.1. Maybe I should search this. I have my computer right in front of me. Depending on how much experience you have, you will get paid additional money, of course, and depending on where you work. If you are starting off with just a bachelor's degree and a TOEFL certificate, you will be at level 2, and you start with a base pay of 2.0 million Korean won. If you work in Busan, Incheon, or Daegu. Other metropolitan cities, or MOEs, you will get paid 2.1 million Korean won. If you work in Jeju, also 2.1. And all other provinces, or POEs, which would include mine, I work in the Chungju province, we get paid 2.2 million. To summarize it, if you work in a POE, you'll get paid 0.1 million more than anyone working in a MOE. So that is one benefit of applying for a POE or working in a more rural area. And after that, basically every level of experience you go up, so an additional year of teaching, you get another 0.1 million Korean won. If you work at 2 schools as opposed to 1, which I personally do, you get an additional 100,000 Korean won per month. And if you work at 3 schools, you get 150,000 more. I'm not too sure how it works if you work at, for example, 4 or 5 schools, which I have heard of happening before. I don't think it's very common. Most people here in Chungju teach at 3 schools, and some of us teach at 2. I'm not too sure about this because I don't get this, but if you live in a rural area, then you'll get a rural allowance. Some other monies that you get when you come. There's no school and there's still a bell. Entrance allowance. You get 1.3 million Korean won. Basically that is to reimburse your flight coming here. So if you get a flight that's $600, for example, or let's just say 600,000 Korean won, you get to keep that excess money. I personally bought a flight that was just about 1.3 million Korean won, so you do have to pay for it initially, but you will get reimbursed the full 1.3 million Korean won after you arrive in Korea, I think sometime within the first month. Settlement allowance, you get 300,000 won for buying things to settle yourself in, to make your house more comfortable. My co-teacher used the budget from the school to buy me stuff like new bedding, and I think anything you don't use, I don't know, it depends on your school. This will definitely depend on your school. Some people I think get paid the 300,000 won just kind of as cash put in their bank account, or some schools will basically give you a budget to go and shop with your co-teacher. I know in Busan, the settlement allowance does not come in until 6 months into your contract, just to prevent people from running. Okay, exit allowance, same as the entrance allowance, 1.3 million Korean won to reimburse your flight. And also, at the end of your contract, you get your pension money back, which I think might be about $100 per month that you were working. And you get your severance pay, which is equivalent to 1 month's pay, so about 2.1 million Korean won. I think that is about it in terms of the major components of what you get paid. You do have to pay some taxes every paycheck and we get paid once a month. Basically, what I've been seeing that goes into my bank account every month is somewhere between 2 to 2.1 million Korean won. Now, let's talk about some of the expenses that I have. School lunches. I do pay for school lunches, and you get a lunch every single day at school. It's very cheap from what I know. In terms of bills in my apartment, I pay a monthly, I guess it's like an apartment fee where it's about 100,000 Korean won, and it covers things like our security guard, maintenance, whatever building fees. I don't know. I never really look at it, to be honest. But it's usually internet, I think. Internet, cable, all those things. I also pay for the electricity and gas, and that varies. So in the summer, I've been paying maybe 5,000 Korean won. And in the winter, I think I was paying about 20,000 Korean won. My phone bill, I pay out of pocket. So you can go with your co-teacher to pick out a phone plan, and depending on which phone plan you pick out, it will be varying fees. My phone plan is 6 gigabytes with Olay KT, and it's about, I think about 50,000 won every month. So it's super affordable, especially compared to Canada, where I think 6 gigabytes would probably cost me well over $100 back home, which is insane. How I do not look forward to that. All in all, I don't know if this is good or bad. Personally, I save about half my paycheck every month. So I save about 1.2 million Korean won every month. Depending on the month, maybe I'll save 1 million Korean won or less, but it really depends how you eat, how much you travel, you know, all those miscellaneous expenses that are up to you to control your own budget. I can say comfortably that I don't put a lot of effort into saving money. So even with that, I've managed to save already about 12 million Korean won in the past year. That is accounting for me traveling fairly often, me going on vacation in the winter. I went to Vietnam and Cambodia for 2 weeks. You're definitely able to live comfortably and pay off OSAP loans back home. The expense of living in Korea in terms of like food, transportation, services, it's, to me, at least coming from Canada, is very affordable, and they pay for, EPIK pays for our rent here. So I have a free 1-room apartment, and that really, really makes a difference in saving money.